Guys, today I'm going to take another look at carry options. So this would be my carry options video 2. In this one I'm going to look at outside the waistband holsters, which is the most common way that most concealed carry guys do. You know, it's like the most obvious one when they first start out. It's the most readily available, the easiest to purchase, and that's probably why they do. That's what I did. The first thing I did, of course, was I selected my firearm, which in this case was a Kimber Tactical Pro 2, and then I went down the holster trail. So let's take a look at some outside the waistband options. Okay, there's my first option I did. Is a basic Ross slide. Some companies call them the Yaki slide. Some have tensioner, some don't. This one doesn't. This one was relatively inexpensive. It's made by Ross Holsters. If you have the 1911 or any platform that you buy this for, obviously the muzzle sticks out, so you can use the short barrel, long barrel length. It doesn't matter. So it is versatile. It's very minimalist, so it doesn't add a lot of bulk underneath your garment. So it's not a bad choice. I don't like reholstering it particularly because it's over the years it's kind of collapsed a little bit. I mean, you see me kind of struggling here to get it in there. So I don't particularly use it for concealed anymore. But there was my first choice that I could get. Let me show you my better choice. One other thing about a holster like this is it has nothing between you and your spare tire. And my spare tire tends to hit that ambidextrous safety and get rubbed. So if you have a tight-fitting holster or you have a little bit of flesh there like I do, old man fat, it rubs there and you get sweat all over your handgun and stuff, so that's kind of another reason that this is not my optimal choice. Okay, back to second choice, or first choice. Okay, there's a better choice. This is a high noon. It's called a pancake type holster, which just means it has this shape that kind of is round and molds on. It just doesn't stick out like a Kydex holster might. This one also has a sweat guard, which is a piece of leather here to protect your old man fat that I was just talking about and keep sweat and stuff from getting on your weapon. This one's easier to reholster. It has a tensioner. This is from High Noon Holsters in Florida. It's nicely made. It wasn't cheap. But what is, really, you know, depends how you define cheap. But this was my rig for quite a while. Okay, that's another outside the waistband holster. And High Noon makes these, you know, lots of different companies make them, but the Sweat Shield is one thing that I really recommend. Alright, let's look at my last choice. Okay, and here's a third version. This one has the thumb brake, so you have more retention of your handgun, which a lot of guys really like. You know, you just depress the thumb flap. It's reinforced with steel, so it doesn't get all floppy with age, you know, because it is a leather holster. It still comes out quick, and the draw stroke is pretty, you know, intuitive. So this one just offers a little bit more security. It's got the shortened end, so the muzzle sticks out like the Ross slide that I showed you at the beginning, whereas the High Noon covered the whole muzzle. One thing I like about covering the whole muzzle is your cover garment doesn't snag on your front sight or rub against your pistol's not getting banged or rubbed. So this is more protective, so I actually prefer a full-length holster. This one retains by tension with the tension screw that I was telling you about. So retention, if you were to, you know, go tumbling on the ground, isn't as good with this one as it would be for this one, especially if someone tried to snatch it or something. So this, you know, this is definitely an option. Either way you want to go. But there's 3 different ways that I went. So that's the only ones I can vouch for. So there's another look at the outside the waistband holsters. I didn't name this particular version. It's a Galco cop model. So this is a Galco. You can usually find those easily online. They're pre-made. You don't have to order them. The High Noon I had to order and wait for, and I bought this while I was waiting for it. And this Ross is another one that's, you know, factory made and found in most of your you know, sporting goods stores. You can usually find the Ross brand. It's pretty prolific. Okay, let's look at some Kydex versions of what you've seen. Here's an outside the waistband by Wilson Combat. It's kind of cool because it's got a textured kydex on the outside, and it's suede leather on the inside with a leather backing that goes through your loops. It's cut rather high here. You can see the ejection port, so you can clear leather quicker. This is the one that I used when I was, I got this actually for competing. And a very nice holster, not a cheap price for a kydex holster. Let's look at another. Okay, here's a much more economical choice. This is another kydex. It's got leather on the outside, suede on the inside, kydex in the middle. It's a really cool looking holster. You can see it's got the lowered front. You can see the ejection port for that quick, a little bit quicker on the draw there. This is a government model to give you guys a idea what I'm putting in there. But you can see on these, they're a lot bulkier than the pancake holster. So although you can conceal these, it's a little bit harder. So that's why I like the leather ones better. We'll take a closer look at this one in a moment, and the Wilson as well. Okay, here's a look at a regular kydex holster, and by that I mean one you would find in your local sporting goods store. Don't have to order it. It's relatively inexpensive, and this is a paddle holster too. And the paddle holster has this little paddle here that goes inside of your pants and snaps over your belt. So you don't have to worry about the positioning of the belt loops on your belt when you put them on, so you can actually ride it wherever you want, which is kind of a cool feature. And they tend to come off and go on a little bit easier if you have to do that frequently with your situation. But that's a basic kydex holster. They're very fast. But like I say, like I was showing you before, they're bulky. So good range wear, but to me not very good concealed carry wear. And I've bought all these for concealed carry, so you know, I'm trying to save you from having the box of holsters that everybody always talks about. Let me show you that other one on. This one I actually was experimenting with for cross draw while I'm driving, and it would go here. If I can get it on here, I got a really thick pistol belt, but I would put it here, and then I would carry this way. And I would do this for driving because I have a car with wraparound bucket seats, and carrying back here is just a no-go pretty much. So there was your cross draw, and it worked okay, but you know, if you get pulled over, you're kind of screwed. So anyway, there's some kydex, and we'll take a closer look at them here. Okay, here they are there. This is the Wilson Combat. This sucker is not cheap, but it's a very nice holster if you need one. But to me, you're getting up there in money, so I don't know. This one was relatively inexpensive. This is made by Frontline, and I think they've changed their name, but I've seen them in the Shotgun News, so they're still making them. The thing I don't like about this holster is you can't really get your belt loop lined up with it, so it's either way back or way forward on my belt. And it also comes with this spacer here. It comes with another spacer, so you can put this on like a wider duty type belt. You know, if you're doing something where you have web gear, or maybe 3-gun where you have a separate belt or something, where this would move on there. And you can take it off easily by taking this strap off and just pulling it away and sliding it from behind your belt. So that's kind of cool. But I thought this when I saw it was just like awesome, but no, not so awesome. Although it does look cool. This is a Phobos brand. It swivels around so you can move the paddle. You loosen this screw here and you can rotate it for any kind of camp that you want. This one doesn't have a lot of grab on the belt. You can see here how it works. It works well enough, but to me you could pull it out. And this one I believe is an Uncle Mike's. I'm not sure. It's got rubber tensioners, so you can change the tension of it depending on the fit of your firearm. But you can see this one has little spiky bits, and once again just a little bit of an edge to catch your belt. So this one doesn't grab real good either, but the paddle's bigger. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of paddles. They're okay, and I'm not a big fan of kydex either. So these are all basically fails for concealed carry, but for range wear, like this one for IDPA type competition, you know, works great, which is what I bought it for. So there's a look at some Kydex options for you on the outside the waistband holster. All right, thanks for watching.